The TR-7 is probably one of my favorite weapons to use in Battlefield 6. Check how fast this thing kills. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're taking a closer look at one of my absolute favorite weapons in Battlefield 6, the TR-7. This gun is an absolute monster when used right, and after spending a ton of time testing different attachments and builds, I can confidently say I found the best possible setup for it. I've got one build only for you today. It focuses on reducing recoil as much as possible while keeping the aggressive, fast-paced playstyle this gun is built for. The TR-7 is a bullpup assault rifle that hits incredibly hard and fires insanely fast. It actually has the fastest time to kill of any assault rifle in the game, past 9.5 meters, and even at point blank range it's still one of the quickest killing guns overall. The raw power that makes it an absolute beast in close range fights, but it comes with a big catch. This gun has one of the worst recoil patterns in the entire AR category, and if you don't build around that, you'll lose control fast. So the strengths of the TR-7. It does have the fastest TTK in the AR category. This thing melts people before they can even react. It dominates close quarters and mid-range fights if you can't handle the recoil. And it is extremely rewarding for skilled players who can manage its kick, the aim discipline, and the low mag size when you start off using this weapon. Once you get used to how it behaves, it feels unbelievably strong. That combination of damage and fire rate can wipe squads in seconds. The weaknesses of this weapon. It has high recoil and spread. If you just hold down the trigger, the gun climbs like crazy. It struggles at long range. The recoil and blue make it too inconsistent to beam people from far away. And it requires control and positioning. You can't just run and spray this gun across the map. You have to be smart about when to time your reload, when to engage in gunfights, and how many people you're going to be able to kill with one mag. So this is how to use the TR-7. This weapon is all about playing aggressively and controlling your fights. Stick to close to medium range, use cover to your advantage, and rely on your movement speed to get close with this gun shines. At anything beyond 40 meters, you'll want to tap fire or burst fire. That's the key to keeping your shots accurate. The recoil is wild, but once you get used to it, you'll see how satisfying this gun is to master. You'll notice in the gameplay in the background, I use it very aggressively, constantly pushing objectives and flanking enemies. That's exactly how you should play the TR-7. Fast, confident, and always in motion, but you have to be aware you need to be able to reload this gun quite often. So this build is focusing on reducing recoil as much as possible without sacrificing the insane time to kill that makes this gun so deadly. It keeps the gun steady enough to use those fights fast, but still lets you take advantage of the high rate of fire and damage output. It's honestly the most fun I've had with AR in this game. Once you get the rhythm down, the TR-7 can easily be one of the strongest weapons in Battlefield 6 and easily one of the most underrated too. So the final thoughts. The TR-7 is a high risk, high reward weapon. It's not easy to control, but if you put time to learn manage the recoil, you completely dominate close range fights and still hold your own at medium range. It's fast, powerful, and insanely satisfying once you master it. If you enjoy these kinds of weapon builds and you want to see more, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We're dropping a ton of guides for the Battlefield 6 if you don't want to miss them. Now, let's get into the TR-7 build. So here it is, the build for the TR-7. Honestly, this is a build you're not going to see me use on any other weapon, not even close to this. It is made so it reduces their recoil quite a bit, as much as I possibly could, while still remaining for it to be aggressive. Because that's the most important thing with the TR-7. You want to be up close, because that 3-shot kill of like to 20 meters, I believe it is absolutely insane. It kills faster than most weapons. So you kind of have to make sure it excels at that range. And I put a big grip on this one, so it has still pretty good recoil control. It's honestly a really tough build. I have a slight variation for the people that want to run a suppressor, because as you can see, the muzzle, there's nothing. Didn't run a flash hider, don't run a suppressor. So you're going to be exposed when you use this weapon. Very exposed. It's not very good for flanks. It is good for gunfights. Gun on gun fights. This is where the weapon excels. Keep that in mind. If you know there's players there, they'll probably know you are there as well. Just make sure you're prepared for the gunfight, because if you are prepared, you're going to probably be the one that kills the player faster anyways. That's the mindset you need with this weapon. Alright, starting off with these sides, we have the mini flex 1x. For most of the clips, I was using the OSA 7 1x, so you could see in the background. Recently switched to the mini flex, which is also very nice. You do not want to use anything above the 1.5. Even the 1.5 magnifications are already kind of tough to use, because you get a lot of visual recoil when you use the higher magnification scope. So I would stick to lower sides. 1.25 is still fine. 1x are fine. If you like iron sights, you could try that on this gun, but anything higher is just going to make the gun a lot worse. And it's not really meant for those mid-range gunfights anyways. Moving over to the laser sight, I went with the green laser sight. The red laser sight is perfectly fine as well. The green laser sight is just a little better, but it is visible to the enemy player, so you got to be aware of that. Now, you're already quite exposed with this weapon anyways. That was kind of my mindset, so I ended up going with the green laser sight. But if you want to be a little bit more steady, go with that red laser sight. Now, there's no muzzle. I have a slight variation with a suppressor. If you want to use that, I'll show that later on. But there's no muzzle for on the weapon for now. Now, this is an important one, the lightweight barrel. A lightweight barrel that improves aim down sights, accuracy while moving, and enables a faster transition to ADS speed. Now, the main part with this is that it has a faster ADS speed. That's the most important one. And you have a little bit of accuracy while you're trying to strafe around walls. So because you're exposed, you're going to be pre-aiming a lot with this weapon. Once you do that, you're going to be a little bit more accurate. And it's also important to have this, because it kind of counters out something I have for the grip, which we're getting into right now. So we got the stubby grip, moderately reduces recoil and enables a slightly faster transition to aim down sights. So they both, the barrel and the grip, both improve that ADS speed, which is very important on this weapon, at the cost of ADS accuracy while moving. So that kind of gets cancelled out with the barrel. It doesn't have the most ideal accuracy while you're moving now. However, with those close range gunfights, having a little bit of spread is not the worst, because the targets are going to be somewhat close. So if your bullets are kind of landing next to your reticle, you'll still land a lot of shots, if you're in the right distance with the enemy, of course. Then I ended up going with the 25 fast. The 20 fast is also very good if you're smart with positioning and know how to position yourself well while being able to reload, you know, get 2 or 3 kills and then reload again, because you're going to get 2 or 3 kills still with a 20 round mag. But those 5 extra bullets, I know it's 15 points, but it is actually quite worth it in my opinion. With that fast reload, 2.1 second reload speed, it's quite fast. Makes a big difference, those 5 extra bullets, it'd be surprisingly. And I used FMJ rounds. Now, if you want to run a suppressor, you go to that 25 and you want to run the 20 here. And then you probably want to get rid of the suppressor, and you will have the suppressor unlocked. You can use the 25 one. It will go at the cost of hipfire, but it reduces recoil buildup and improves recoil recovery, making it really good for tap fire. So if you like to tap fire, this is a really, really good build for that. So this is another build I could recommend. Didn't really play with this much myself, but if you want to be a little bit more stealthy, this is an amazing build as well. It also improves that recoil recovery quite well. So if you do tap fire a lot in this game, you're really going to like this build. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you in the next one.